Hi everybody, how are you doing? Thank you so much for tuning in. First, before I do anything else, I want to thank you guys immensely for subscribing to my channel. I ask that you let me know in the comments what type of things you want me to do. If you enjoy what I'm doing now, would you please let me know? That way I can keep doing my content. I truly appreciate you guys subscribing to my channel. That's the only way I can move to get more people to watch my channel. My intention is to do what God asked me to do, and that is to let you guys know that He exists and that there is heaven, hell, and of course earth. So it's very important that you understand this is a massive homework for me, coming from Jesus telling me you must go back and you must tell humanity that I exist and that I love them immensely and that I don't want neither one of them to go to hell. It's important that you understand. I had 3 near-death experiences. My first near-death experience was when I was 6 years old. I was helping my mom to wash clothes, and she said, "I'll be right back. I'm gonna go inside for a minute." So she went inside, and I had soap underneath my knees because I couldn't reach, so I had to get on top of that thing to wash clothes by hand. And the soap got underneath my knees, and I fell into the pool. It was dark, and I couldn't see anything. I didn't know how to swim. I was drowning. Next thing I know, there is an angel sitting in the water. She put her hand in the water and make a circle sign, and the water lit up white. It was warm. It was super white. It was absolutely beautiful. She was holding my head above water, and she was telling me, "You are going to be okay. You are such a beautiful being." So this is also what I want to tell you guys as well. She had golden strands of hair. Every time I play with her hair, gold will come out of it. I was very excited, and she was singing to me, and she was playing with me, and she was telling me not to worry, that things were gonna be okay. Next thing I know, she said, "I have to leave you now. Your mom is coming back." But it wasn't my mom. It was actually my brother wondering where I was at. And my mom had told him that I was washing clothes outside, and it was already getting very dark. So he didn't know. So he started hearing the motion of the water moving all over the place, and he ran and took me out of my misery, I guess. He took me out of the pool full of water, full of soap, and started mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. My brother is only 2 years older than me, but he was always very smart. So he started mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. I came through, and when I look back, my angel was gone. So that was my first near-death experience. My second near-death experience happened in 2010 when I had my son. I was pregnant, 40 weeks pregnant. The doctor decided to schedule a C-section because she said, "I have to do a C-section. The baby's too big and it cannot come the other way." So I said, okay. So she told me, start walking around the hospital to start moving, which I couldn't understand why she wanted me to do that. If I was gonna have a C-section, why would she want me to walk around the hospital to start the labor? I don't get it. I was very confused. I was by myself. My husband went to bring the car in the car seat and all that, so he was not directly in the hospital yet. So I started walking. Little did I know that my amniotic fluid was draining. It was draining out of my body. My baby had essentially no fluid to survive inside me, but I didn't know this at the time. All I know that I started leaking amniotic fluid. I let the doctor know. She said there is no problem, everything is fine, we're gonna do a C-section at 6 p.m. At this point, I was waiting for my sister to come from Tacoma to Spokane to see that my baby's birth, but things moved quickly. The 6 hours passed. My sister did not arrive on time. My husband was already in the hospital, ready to go. Next thing I know, they rushed me into a C-section, and I was underneath all those heavy lights, and there was a lot of people working on me. I got an IV. I had the anesthesiologist talking to me as well. I had a doctor in the front of my stomach. I had 2 nurses side to side and the anesthesiologist. So he was explaining me what he was gonna do about my C-section, and I said, I apologize. He was explaining me what he was gonna put in my IV, and he said, you're not gonna go to sleep. This is gonna be a quick thing. Anyways, they started the IV, and soon enough, my stomach felt very numb. I couldn't feel anything. My baby at this point was not moving, and I keep telling them, my baby's not moving, my baby's not moving. She cut my stomach open, and she was surprised to see that there's absolutely no amniotic fluid in my stomach. She was so scared to death that she accidentally cut the other side of my stomach without thinking about it. I had 2 cuts, very big cuts. She took the baby out. The baby wasn't breathing. I keep telling them, I'm leaving. Something's wrong. And she just told the anesthesiologist, put her out. I don't want to deal with her. Just put her out. So next thing I know, I'm up outside my body looking in, and I see my dead baby. There was no movement from my son. The doctor ran, grabbed the kid, and took it away. I didn't know where she took him then. Then I was outside my body, but this happened really fast. I didn't go to heaven. I didn't go anywhere. I was just outside my body. Next thing I know, they started a CPR, and I slapped back in my body. So I was back in my body, and at this point, I was unconscious. They finished the C-section. I was in critical condition. They put me in the ICU along with my son. So I was able to wake up, I would say, hours after, because I asked my husband how many hours was I out, and he said a couple of hours. So I woke up, and I saw my son. He was right there with me. He was alive. But at this point, I didn't know that I had died, neither did I know that my son's heart stopped. So to this day, I don't understand why this doctor decided to wait 6 hours before she did the surgery to have my son, the C-section to have my son. That was the one. And then let's see, as I mentioned in the past, in 2012, I was going to school full-time. I was a mother of 3. I was married. I'm still married, of course. I've been married for many years, over 22 years. And so I was having a lot of depression due to my very first pregnancy. I had a lot of miscarriages as well. So I was very, very sick. I cannot keep my children in my stomach. I keep miscarrying my kids. I had 9 different miscarriages between my 3 pregnancies, live births. So I was going to school full-time. I was taking care of my father-in-law that had Alzheimer's disease. Also my mother-in-law was living with us. So she was not on any help. She never helped with the kids or anything like that. It was just me, my husband, my kids, her, my mother-in-law, and my father-in-law. But my father-in-law at this point had Alzheimer's, so he was always very violent towards me. Then I just felt super alone from the very beginning. I never got help for depression. I never got medicated for the depression, severe postpartum depression that I had. So I was very scared to death. I was always very depressed. I didn't know what to do. I felt alone. I felt that nobody cared about me. I felt that I was not a good enough person to be on this earth. So I started planning hard to commit suicide. And unfortunately, I know it might be a trigger. Why would this woman commit suicide given the fact that she has 3 small kids, a husband, going to school full time? Well, my life wasn't perfect. I was in severe stress. There was no way to redeem that depression that I had, and I didn't know how to get rid of it. So I took 250 sleeping pills. I fall into a coma. But before I fall into a coma, let me tell you how things happen. I took the medication and I took a notebook out to write a letter to my daughter. She was very young, 1 year old, was very young. I don't know why I wanted so bad to write her a letter, but I wanted to. Little did I know that a medication was going to work really fast. I started gasping for air. I fell forward, and literally seconds before my mother-in-law was going to her room, through the hallway, and she looked to the left, and my door was closed, but she said that she heard a horse making noise. And obviously it wasn't a horse, it was me dying. So next thing, I know she opens the door, she started shaking me, but I was no longer in my body at this point. I was hovering up on the corner, watching to see what she was doing. And I keep telling myself, what is she doing? I'm okay, I'm perfectly fine, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm okay. And I tried to tell her that, but she wouldn't listen. She panicked and called 911. My husband was at work at this point. She called her son that was visiting her, and he was downstairs. They ran and called 911. The ambulance got there, the paramedics, even the police got there. They were frightened. They were so frightened that I was gonna die. So they started CPR, and they put a tube down my throat to breathe for me, because at this point I was no longer alive. They were breathing for me. They rushed me out of the house, and they were running. They were literally flying through the freeway. And I was terrified because I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know what was going to happen, really. I didn't know. First, I was not being in my body made me feel free, made me feel very happy, but frightened at the same time, because I no longer control my body. My body was being controlled by the machine that was breathing for me. They rushed me to the hospital, and they almost hit a car in the freeway trying to rush. So I keep asking to them, what are you guys doing? I'm okay. I don't understand what's going on. So then once I got to the hospital, the doctors started working on me. They put me in life support. The machine was breathing for me. So I was a very sick person. 250 sleeping pills would kill a horse or an elephant. I was very small, and I took that many pills. A lot of people may wonder, why did I do this? What was my thinking at that time? See, when you're so depressed, you don't think about what's happening. You don't think about, I want to kill myself just because of the hell of it. No, you gotta go through a trauma so severe, which is depression, all combined with feeling alone, not having any friends, not being able to talk to anybody about what was happening with me, and having depression, postpartum depression from the very first birth I have. I never got rid of that depression. I got pregnant again, had a baby, kept having that depression. Got pregnant again, had a baby, kept having that depression. So I was tired of living. It isn't that I didn't love my kids. It isn't that I didn't want to be around my kids. I was just terrified inside. I wanted to talk to somebody, but nobody will talk to me. So once that happened, I decided to back to the hospital room. I was hovering, watching the doctors work on me. Then I wanted to, once that everybody left, I wanted to go to look at the window. I wanted to see what was on the window. I was so excited to see the window. So I looked up and I looked at my body. I say, how am I walking if my body's on the bed? I didn't know that I was already dead, basically. So I said, oh my God, how would it feel to talk to somebody at this time? Next thing I know, I look over to the front door of the hospital and there is 3 big bright lights. These lights were brilliant. All 3 came in, 2 stayed behind, 1 sit up and he turned into an angel. And she said, Elsa, we got to go. So she said, I wonder how would it feel to fly through Spokane at night. And she said, would you want to fly with me? And I said, yes. So she said, hold my hand tightly, do not let go. And we went through that window and we started flying at the speed of light. I can see the houses looking super tiny. I can see every single star. I can see everything around me. And we were flying through the speed of time. It was super fast. Next thing I know, I look back and the earth looked very tiny down there. It was super tiny. I was very, very happy to be with the angel, but very scared because obviously the reason I was there, it was because I had committed suicide. So we started seeing this tunnel, very black tunnel. There is no black on this earth to describe how it looks. Excuse me, I gotta drink something. I apologize for that. So then, once that happened, we went through this black tunnel. Then we went to a very bright light. It was another tunnel. Then there was a door and she asked me to wait outside. And I say, before I could even say, can I go count the stars? I was already sitting on the moon counting the stars. So when you're in heaven, there is no time. So before you can even finish a sentence in your head, you are already doing what you say you wanted to do. In this case, I wanted to count the stars and sit on the moon. I was, in a blink of an eye, sitting on the moon and counting the stars. She was taking forever and I was concerned but happy at the same time. I was in awe, knowing that everything that I have done in my life came down to this. Then everything turned chaos. I was terrified today. She said, Elsa, let's go. We got to go. So I got super afraid because I know that I had committed suicide. I know that I deserve to go to hell. And I knew that I have left my kids on the earth. And I was completely, absolutely devastated. She started pushing me and pulling me towards her. I was terrified. And I said, no, I don't want to go. I committed suicide. Oh my God, I'm going to go to hell. Would you please help me? So she pushed me enough to the door and shut the door behind me. Next thing I know, I look back and there is no door. It's a room full of people. There were 4 lanes on this room. Lane number 1, 2, 3, and 4. And she said, get behind this woman. She was on lane number 1. At that point, I didn't know, but I was going to go back to earth. All of this lane of people was going back to earth. So then Jesus keep asking each person, what have you done for your fellow man? What have you done for your fellow man? There were 30 people in front of me. And when I saw these people and Jesus asking them, what have you done for your fellow man? And they had nothing to say. I started getting horrified because I was the last person. 3 people in front of me have killed people on earth. And Jesus said to them, you know where you're going, right? You know that what you did was wrong and therefore you need to go to hell. And they agree, all 3 agree that the ground opened and they dropped. I was behind these 3 people. Oh my God. I was terrified. I fell into the floor begging to God to help me, to please guide me, to do something for me. Forgive me, Jesus. I grabbed his legs. I kissed his legs, his feet. I said, forgive me, forgive me. I have committed suicide. And he said, get up. This is not your time to die. We need to go. I need to teach you some things. He took me over to hell. I was so close to him, but we were in hell, and there was a lot of people in pain, screaming, terrified, and I knew that I belonged there. He said, I want you to show you this because I want you to go back to earth and tell people about this place. Tell people that this place truly exists, and that if they don't love each other and forgive each other and become one with everybody, they're gonna end up here. I don't want any more souls to go to hell. So he took me out of hell. There were people screaming in agony. Then he took me back. We turned around and started walking back to where we came from. This time he said, I'm gonna heal you. I'm gonna heal you so there's no problems with your brain when you wake up on earth. So then he put me into this crystal room, and he got a purple light and touched the back of my neck, and he did something to it, to my head. He said, I'm going to give you prophetic dreams. You're going to be a psychic. You're going to be able to help people on earth through a YouTube channel. You're going to be able to help people, telling them not to come here, and that I love them immensely and that I forgive their mistakes. So please, guys, I want you guys to know Jesus truly exists. Hell truly exists. Heaven really exists. And earth exists. Please be kind to yourself, love each other immensely, and know that Jesus loves you magnificently. Excuse me. Sorry about that. So it is important that you understand that your life matters here on earth. What you do with your life matters in heaven. So it's important that you treat yourself with respect, treat each other with respect, love yourself immensely from the very inner part of yourself. Love each other immensely. God hasn't forgotten about you. Jesus hasn't forgotten about you. In heaven there is no time. So to him, he can come here at any given time and you won't even notice. Why don't you make your life perfect so when he comes to see you, he's proud of you? Do that because you deserve to be happy. Everybody on this earth deserves to be happy. Then after he told me that I was going to be a psychic, a seer, a prophetic being, and some other things that I don't recall necessarily, I was very happy. He said, you will never be alone, and you were never alone to begin with, and you will never be alone. You're going to have massive amount of angels working with you so you can help humanity. This is very important. Love yourself. Know that Jesus exists. He loves you immensely and he does not want you to go to hell. Would you please share this video with somebody that you love immensely? Subscribe to my channel so I can reach more people, because when nobody subscribes, my channel stays put. I don't get to help anybody if I cannot move my channel around. And it helps me tremendously if you subscribe. So please subscribe to my channel. Share this video with somebody that you care about so that they know that your life matters. Ever since Jesus sent me back to earth, I had no depression, nothing to do with the brain. Everything is wonderful in my brain right now. So it's been since 2012, but I was afraid to come through and talk to you guys because the very first time I opened my eyes in the hospital after being in coma for 5 days, I was told that I was crazy. I got tied up on the bed. I was being told that I was crazy, and I was literally naked in the bed, tied up. So I was terrified not to ever talk about this. I didn't want to talk to anybody. Years went by, but I got the courage to talk to you guys because it's important that you understand that hell is real. Jesus took me to hell and showed me the atrocities and horrendous things that happen on that place. So please, guys, share this video with somebody that you love, and please be proud of yourself, love yourself. Please like, share, and subscribe. I love you guys, and I hope to see you in another video. Bye-bye.